A friend of mine told me about a recent time when someone on his team came to him very frustrated. She was overwhelmed, she was angry, and she was blaming him because he's the one who delegates to her. And so, in her mind, he was the reason she was overwhelmed because he just kept giving her stuff without regard to her capacity. And so she was very upset. And as he explained this to me, and I got the full sense of it, I said, hey, listen, so we always want to take responsibility for situations, especially negative situations. We want to own those situations. I said, so as the leader, you need to say, what could I have done differently? What's my part in this situation? It usually takes two people to have a problem. So what could I have done differently or better to have prevented this? And now how do I step in and make this a better situation? I said, all that's true. And you do need to own that and make sure that you're doing everything you can going forward. I said, and she needs to realize that she has a big part in this. In fact, I would suggest even the bigger part of this, because as a good leader, you don't want to run the lives of everyone on your team. You don't want to tell them how to do everything they have to do and when to do everything they have to do. You want to tell them what needs to get done and let them figure it out, because that's the fun part, right? Everybody wants to figure out the how and the when, not maybe the what, but the how for sure is the fun part. When someone tells you what to do and how to do it, that's awful. That's almost the definition of micromanaging right there, when they're going to tell you every single thing about it. So we want to figure some of that stuff out. So a good leader's not going to jump in and do all that. So if he wasn't going to do all that, well, then it's up to her to make sure he knows what her capacity is. Because if he's not paying close attention, which he shouldn't be, well, then how will he know? So I said, think of it this way. Think of it as you pouring water from a pitcher, and you're pouring water into her glass. But you're not looking. You're looking over here. You're just pouring, and you're expecting her to say, hey, getting full, over full, stop. But if she doesn't, you just keep pouring. But for her to let it spill over and make a big mess and then be mad at you for having kept pouring, well, how were you supposed to know? You're not a mind reader. And the fact is, she shouldn't want you to be paying that much attention. She should want control of that, but she's got to raise her hand. She's got to let you know, hey, I'm getting full. Hey, I'm full. Hey, I can't do one more thing. And at that point, it's not a no. Because I understand sometimes people are like, listen, like, it's my boss. I can't say no. And I don't want to come across as somebody who can't get things done and who refuses to take on more work. Well, listen, we all only have so much capacity. So here's the way you need to handle that. As someone who's getting delegated to, you need to say, listen, I'm full. Love to do that extra thing you just asked about. But something's got to come off my plate. I can only do this much stuff. So if you want me to add that, it's going to have to be instead of something else. So what's going to come off my list to get this on my list? Because we can't just add it to it, or then I'm going to be overwhelmed. But it's on that person to raise their hand and say, hey, I'm getting full, or I'm over full. What do you want to do? Let's sit down and prioritize my list so that I know what you want first, because I can't do everything. I can do anything, but I can't do everything. So there's always in these situations plenty of opportunity to do it better next time. Plenty of things to look at and reflect upon and say, what can I own in this situation and how can I make it better? And that's true in this situation for both people. The leader delegating could pay more attention and check in more and make sure that that person's comfortable and has just the right amount and not too much and is not getting overwhelmed. And the person who's being delegated to absolutely has a responsibility to raise their hand and say, hey, you're pouring away and my glass is filling up, or my glass is full now, I can't take on anymore. And make sure that that leader's aware of what the situation looks like. And then that will just help everybody get more done. So delegation always has two components to it. Problems always have two sides to it. We just got to own what we can own on situations and look forward to next time and how can I do it better next time. So if you're the delegator or the leader, make sure you're paying attention. And if you're the person being delegated to, make sure you're raising your hand so things don't get dropped, things don't make a mess, and you don't get frustrated and angry.